Good day everyone, Leo Cheers from Mythmaster here with another part to my ever-expanding series on creating custom character concepts for Marvel characters, and just any fictional characters, to say how I would add them to Marvel rivals. First up today we have Mystique, who would be a duelist with 250 health and a difficulty of 4 stars. Her passive Unseen Assassin makes it hard for enemies to detect her, at least audibly, unless she's close to them. And her primary fire is a simple pistol, but it does even more damage on critical hits than the normal multiplier, whatever that is. Her right-click ability gives her some mobility, and that is a cartwheel, which basically, well, she cartwheels forwards, but if she hits an enemy, she stuns them for a very small amount of time, but this can be used to interrupt ultimates and channeled abilities and such. Rapid regeneration, on the other hand, slows her movement, but she enters a state of healing and damage reduction while she uses it, and it has a 5-second cooldown, which means she can use it fairly often, and it's mostly used when out of fights just to help recover, or to hold off inner fights while waiting for your allies to arrive. The crux of her kit is her ability Shape Change, where she transforms into the targeted enemy for 5 seconds, and gains their abilities, appearance and attacks, but she keeps her own health and her ultimate, so it's not the same as Loki's ultimate. And this also has a 25-second cooldown, so you have to be careful about where you use it. This leads us nicely onto her ultimate though, and that is Perfect Mimicry, which sets her, well, while it's active, Shape Change has a cooldown of 5 seconds, and you heal steadily while transformed, which basically means you can kind of hop between transforming into different enemies multiple times, and yeah, but you still don't get the ultimate. As ultimates go, this would probably be a fairly cheap one. And also the 5-second duration of Shape Change would not apply during this ultimate, so you could just use it to turn into one enemy for 15 seconds. She is part of a team up which lets her basically temporarily go invisible to enemies not close to her, and that team up is with Psylocke, who gets a 5% damage boost as the anchor. Her suggested combo would be to flank behind your opponents and use Cartwheel to engage, fire off a few crack shots and transform into an opponent to take some enemies down. Use Perfect Mimicry if you have it, and when you need to leave, Cartwheel out and use Rapid Regeneration to heal yourself. A quick pause to say, if you're enjoying this video so far, consider subscribing, liking and commenting, as I'm trying to get to 650 subscribers before May. I have a whole playlist of videos like these for you to check out, and I know the next 6 characters I'm going to do, who are all on a team, so yes, I'll probably be releasing them in pairs, though I'm not sure when that will be. Sabretooth would be a vanguard with 625 health and a difficulty of 3 stars. His first passive, Apex Predator, lets you track and deal extra damage to the last player who killed you, and his healing factor passive means that when he's either out of combat or he takes a large amount of damage in a short burst of time in combat, he triggers a healing factor. His primary fire is a simple claw strike, though it doesn't reduce his movement speed while he uses it. And while he's on the ground, a bit like Hulk, he can hold space to charge a leap, though his would be much smaller. While in midair, he can use Feline Lunge to lunge forwards and scratch nearby enemies, applying a small damage over time effect. And when he clicks left shift, he swipes one arm in front of him, and if he hits an enemy, he grabs them by the neck and kind of starts carrying them, damaging over time and stopping them from moving, though they can still attack, and this only lasts a few seconds. His E ability is Adrenaline Rush, and it has a 10-second cooldown once its effect finishes, and its effect is that for the next 5 seconds he cannot drop beneath 1 health, and when he activates it, him and his nearby allies gain 5 seconds of damage reduction. The last part of his main kit is his ultimate, and while his last ability gave him and his allies damage reduction, this one gives them a speed and damage boost. It would have a duration of maybe like 10 seconds, but he could click Q before it ended to leap forwards, and if he hit an enemy, he'd grab them by the neck and slam them into the ground, damaging them for a very large amount of damage, as well as stunning them. He too would have a team up, and as the anchor, he'd take reduced damage from attacks at close range, and his two team up partners would be Wolverine, who triggers regeneration and increased healing whenever he kills someone, and Deadpool, who would have an ability kind of similar to Adam Warlock's, which lets him, when he die, respawn at the place where he died. But if he didn't want to use this, he could click C, and this would not start the cooldown on it. But if he didn't click C and let the ability happen, it would go onto a 100-second cooldown. Sabretooth plays very similarly to Hulk, though his movement and damage is much more contained. He works well with characters such as Wolverine and Magic, whose considerable survivability can be boosted even further by his adrenaline rush, and whose damage potential would go through the roof with the help of his ultimate. Comment down below any characters you'd like to see me make videos for, and I might get around to them eventually. I told you that there's going to be a team of 6 people who I'll be making in the next few videos, and I'll just say that they're Spider-Man related. But they're not who you think. Have a good day, God loves you, and ta-ta.